Okay, so I have decided that we'll choose what we are going to play or what series we are going to produce by each and every one of you guys gives me some kind of elevator pitch about what kind of series you would like to see on TV that you never saw. Make it short, I mean the elevator. No reference to anything that exists because they are going to go over my head anyway. And then I simply choose what I like best. If you need 5 minutes to think about what you want to tell me, that's fine.
I would very much like 5 minutes. I had an idea, but it was all built on references. So.
Yeah, I thought it fair to say they are not going to work on me.
How would you describe the series Grimm?
Well, oh, now I have to help with your pitch? I don't think so.
I think you better make your own one.
I have my own 5 minutes to worry about.
Yep. I think we basically think of the same thing.
I choose you, but don't think about the
No
same things
conferencing,
because
I think, is the... Yeah.
because then maybe nothing will happen.
Mm.
I want a variety if that's possible.
Great, my things are like, so no problem. That will be a problem then.
Mm-hmm. Uh-oh.
So no
I
adventures.
That's right.
And I choose after not necessarily what I like, but what I think I can handle.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yes.
Don't necessarily make it a TV show in your brain if that makes
Right.
things difficult.
You look like you are... Did you suddenly get something?
Oh,
Something
I definitely.
He got a sap. So glad we did not do this last week because I had a severe case of brain fog.
I remember that, yeah.
I had a severe case of brain
Yeah,
fog.
that's what you said, yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
Daniel,
then we wouldn't
do
have
you
done
want
it this
to
way.
enlighten us with your...
Well, this comes from. This is sort of based on a Norwegian series. I'm not going to say which one it is, but yeah.
Daniel.
Yep. So
Facts.
facts.
Teenagers.
Teenagers
You have the
and
facts.
superpowers or magical powers. How those corrupt those who wield them. How they put them outside of their peers. And when you're so young and so emotional, how do you handle things happening that are too much for any person to handle? Set in the modern times, so that we can throw in references to make it all relatable, in order to make the inhumanity of it all more starkly contrasted.
Mm-hmm. And I was thinking about a rather different pitch, in that I was thinking about very much fantasy adventure that focused on adventure and not so much on some kind of complicated soap opera or dreadful backstory. Something that actually you would look forward to, the action, you would look forward to the adventurous circumstances each time. Just to contrast, a lot of the fantasy that you see on TV these days is really tries to crawl up its own orifice to become darker and weirder and more twisted and messed up. Because it's like they can't figure out what to do. I mean, there are dragons in Game of Thrones. Why don't we deal with dragons, right? Why do we have to have all this disgusting soap opera? So I was thinking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we can split it up, like the difference, like what time, where.
Mm-hmm.
So what order do you want it?
Whatever order is comfortable for you.
You say and I answer.
Okay. Let's start with where. Maybe that's easier than what about.
I would say like northern Sweden-ish, like not mountainous, but maybe like a small village is. So it's not affected very much by the today's society, but still not so far that you would call them savages.
Mm-hmm.
So not now, but relatively recent.
Yeah. So somewhere between socialized people and hillbillies. So somewhere in between. Yeah.
What would it be about?
When the small county decided to make the little village bigger, more adapted into the today's society and the problems that come with that.
So it's a little more naturalistic, a little more dramatic or slow, relaxed kind of pacing or something, maybe. Yeah. Or okay.
Maybe not slow, but
No, I understand.
There
I
could
couldn't find the
be
right
some
word.
drastic changes pretty
Yeah.
quickly.
I couldn't think of the right word, but a little bit less of the action. It doesn't open with an action sequence, or something, right?
I'm hearing a little bit like a rural place with people moving there from outside, from big cities or something, that bring with them their culture and their ideas about how places and things should be, including rural places have to be this way, as a contrast to how people
like
actually live there.
How to change a rural town into an urban city.
Yeah. So people, developers are
Mhm.
or have invested or something. Yeah.
The Germans are coming all over again.
Right.
Sorry.
I didn't say it.
No, I wasn't actually thinking of the fact that there are parts of rural Sweden where old farms, especially smaller farms, were bought up by Germans. A lot of them in the 90s, I'd say, late 80s, 90s.
Mm.
And I think it really made a difference because a lot of those people were like older people that moved here and stayed
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and started living there permanently, renting out their houses to other Germans.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those places are weird.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you were thinking of? Or am I making things up?
Yeah, like it doesn't have to be entirely naturalistic, but
No, but the general idea of what happens to a rural place when other people...
like how do you change a rural place into an urban city fast?
Yeah.
Doesn't
I
have to
think-
be entirely naturalistic. It could be something
Right, that's true.
supernatural.
True. I think also you were thinking, just to tell you what I'm hearing. Emil is talking a little bit about a more policy-oriented
Yeah.
change, more but
I got that.
deliberate economic, whereas you're just talking about people showing up.
I'm trying to integrate my idea of change in rural
Right.
Well
into
aware.
that, but I understood that Emil isn't
Yeah. Yeah.
trying to repeat what happened in the
Right.
south of Sweden,
Yeah.
but more a
Mhm.
governmental
Mhm.
approach of moving things somewhere or people to let the future
Okay,
start.
so what are we
Okay.
doing, Helma?
Yeah.
All of them kind.
All of them are kind of nice.
Well,
and
good.
So,
and all boil down to one of the most human things ever that
Yeah.
set us apart.
Yeah.
I mean,
Adaptability.
Yeah.
Humans are very good at adapting.
if we can combine things a little bit.
Hmm.
I like the idea of northern rural Sweden fantasy environment. As a place. Protests now are in order.
Can one ask for clarification?
Yes?
Are we talking Norse? Are we talking folk? Are we talking Sami?
I have no idea. Probably nothing specific. That's why fantasy is in there. So I can feel comparatively free. And people with different hobbies can't
I.e., we can
nail me.
appropriate. We can appropriate horribly.
Excellent.
Gonna be some
I
troll
wouldn't-
magic in
I was going to say, yeah.
I really wouldn't dare to say I could pull any of that off,
Officially speaking. Yeah.
officially speaking. So I'd rather not.
No, but it's more of like if we're going for one specific one, that would
No,
probably
I may-
exclude. Yeah.
I may pick things from any of them, I assume, but
So,
I'm not going for realistic.
so Helma, what period are you thinking? Well, even if it's made up, but
Kind of nowadays.
kind of nowadays. Okay.
I'm not entirely sure how far into superpowers I'm going to go, but
You don't have to pick from all of them.
No. But I like the idea of teenagers, maybe, that try to adapt to what's going on in the community. They have their own powers, teenagers.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
And superpowers may not be it, but kind of adapting to circumstances, making them work for themselves and stuff like that, which is a power. And how that may not exactly corrupt them, but changes.
Mm-hmm.
For better or for worse.
Yeah.
Whatever we can come up with. I don't think I can work with this. Is this enough for you guys to go think about characters? Because that would be the next step.
I can work with it, yeah.
Because I'm not sure how much more concrete I can get in this
Okay.
moment.
Are we saying something supernatural or more like it?
Mythic more?
More mythic, I
There's-
think, with
yeah.
that setting.
Yeah.
But fantastic is definitely in
Yeah.
the picture.
Yeah. Are
So
the-
not superheroes, but maybe some kind of mythic connections to whatever. So whom are you thinking about?
Well, they're not familiar with the system, so you might want to talk about what we do to make characters.
Okay. So, step one would be to think of characters in a TV show. What makes them tick? Or do they work? This is difficult. I mean, they usually have some kind of problem with themselves or somebody else or something, which would be an issue, which is something I can work with to make trouble for them or to push them into action. They may have a person around that they are very familiar with.
So the formal
Like-
features of the character, and I think they can be done in any order, right?
Yeah.
There's the issue. There are traits, which can be divided into
Two different.
one is
kinds.
connections, right?
One is connections.
And the
That
other
would be
is, yeah,
people
you're right.
you feel connected to, and the other one is. It's called edges, and
Right.
it's a little bit like. it's not one attribute you devise. For example, if I say I'm a mother,
Right.
that describes more than one thing. That means
Right.
I'm good at organizing, I'm good at making fast decisions, I'm good at handling problems, a little bit like that.
Right.
I'm a good driver, I'm a perfect cook.
But you probably aren't very good with axes, for instance.
Right.
That wouldn't be.
So right. So
For
the-
example,
so
and
the
I have
idea
no, I mean, maybe
and I think what we get 3 traits.
you get 3 traits. One of them has to be a connection, one of them has to be an edge, and the third one you can feel. You can choose whatever.
Right. A connection or an edge.
Mm.
Right. So and then
And connection means
A connection, a person.
Yeah.
A person that you are kind of close to or that are close to you. Not necessarily somebody that you confide in or that you would like, but somebody that's more or less constantly around.
And typically
available.
these are used to advantage your character during conflicts. So the precise relationship with the person isn't, is could be anything, but the point is that their existence or usually their presence actually does help
Helps
you in
you.
some way. Let me think. There's also the possibility it's optional for a character to have a set, like a particular location
place.
that's more or less associated with them as a feature of their character. Is there anything else I'm forgetting? Not screen presence yet. We'll wait on that one. Maybe.
I think that's probably it. I mean,
If you basically just have a concept statement, just a basic, the basic concept is pretty straightforward.
I'm really not sure if I like the nemesis.
It's another
as a
option, right?
concept. It's an option.
Yeah.
So
If
it's
there's-
definitely not a must, and I don't think we would have to decide it right now.
Right.
We
If-
can think about that after the pilot.
Right. That makes sense.
I think so.
Okay.
I think that makes a lot of more sense than trying to figure that out right now.
Okay.
So-
So the concepts is the main thing, really, because it just basically gives you a center to put all these things around. But you might think of the others first, and then the concept comes together. So
Depends on how you think.
Yeah.
I think let me see. I think I started with a concept, and when I played it, I started with a concept, and I fought really hard to make edges, to make them sharp enough.
I think I already have
So if you need
2/3 done at least.
Okay. Grab a piece of paper and a writing thing.